Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Igaga, and today, once again, first of all, Chris is not here. He's on leave, so we have the liberty to talk about everything we want to talk about. Fantastic. Number two, we are here at Kakira Estates in Ginger, the home of sweetness. And today, we are going to give out a couple of, what are they, tips? Can we call them tips? Yes. For the ladies to know what to look for in the sweetest husband you can ever find. So make sure you don't go anywhere. And for those men who are having problems, if you don't think your husband material, today you will know how to be the best husband you can be.
Who's not married on this panel?
Now, I'll tell you what, guys. It's hard for women to find the right man. A lot of women say men are complicated, men are this, men are that. But I think it will be easier way to start will be, Faisal, as a young man who's growing up, what three things do you think a good husband?
I feel like you've tapped on a wrong door. I don't even know what a right boyfriend is supposed to do yet. Yeah?
But it's random.
Random, eh? I mean, it's difficult for me because I didn't even see my mom grew up, like it was just me and her. There's no good husband. But of recent I have a stepdad. And one of the things I like about him is his ability to condense my mom. Like she could be on level 10 of havoc. She's just slapping everyone she finds. And the moment is just like that look. she just paralyzes us. She's like, wow, you know what? Okay, do this and do that. So there's just that way they communicate that not even, and no one knows. I mean, they'll just look at themselves, they look at each other, and boom, they walk out of the room, they do something, they come back, you're like, wow, what happened? Like, what conversation was that? Yeah. So I feel like if I ever wanted to be a good husband, I'd literally have to get that communication thing on point. Yeah, whereby I don't even have to say something. I just look at you and you know, if it's time for sex, it's time for sex. Yeah, and the other thing I admire about him is he involves himself in everything, however much he doesn't know. Yeah, I mean, this time I call him up. I was asking about what to get my sister birthday present. He's like, no, your sister likes this. I'm like, wow, my stepdad knows what my sister likes, and my brother, the brother, I don't even know anything, no idea. Yeah, so he's involved. He'll just call and be like, hey, Faisal, how are you? How's your day? Well, what did you do today? How are you doing? How is this girl? Or something. Yeah. So his ability to involve himself in things that they don't necessarily concern him, but he's just showing you he's there. Like if you ever need something, he's there, he's available. So I'm secure. He's like my anchor. If I ever have a business I want to do, or my mom wants to do something, or I tell her something, she doesn't get it, she'll be like, you know what, talk to Uncle Emma, he'll probably help you out. Yeah, and the other third thing I feel like I would, now this is me, the other third thing I feel like I would want to have figured out to be, if I'm a husband is, it's sex. You're not going to be a good husband if you do not know how to make love.
Yes, you are growing up, young man.
If you do not know how to make love, it's hopeless. How are you even going to make kids?
Yeah.
That's it.
Got to get busy. Wow. Now, the good thing is we are lucky to have a lady with us today. Saya, welcome.
She should vet my points.
Now, before we hear from the other men, in your opinion, what three things would make a good husband?
Thank you. First and foremost, I think a good husband should be loving, caring, number two, and also should be somebody who gives attention to the wife. But you find, I'm sorry to say this, what we have, the men we have these days, I can't say Jaluo because I don't know what he is. No, he's not yet married. but especially the married men. Very few are having those qualities. They are not loving, they don't care, and they don't mind about their families.
Saida, I've noticed you have not mentioned anything about money. Does it mean that money is
Caring.
Caring, yes. Caring is money.
I can just say, oh, you know what?
I love you. You send a text.
Caring is money.
Caring is money.
Caring. Care. You.
Let me say something.
You don't care with words.
No, I'll come from a backdrop of what Faisal said. Control. Control comes with financial security.
Yes.
But you know, I also jump into something she said. She said, a loving person. And on that note, I also say that a woman plays a big role. A big role when it comes to husband material. You know, they say behind a successful man, there's a much greater woman.
Behind the downfall of every successful man is also a woman.
You know, women play a big role. If you don't provide a safe haven, for example, for your husband when he comes home after toiling the whole day, you come and the first thing you're doing is pointing fingers and poking and doing everything. You determine what this guy, you know, becomes. It all boils down to working together. You cannot just wake up and say that you're a fake husband and you're not doing your part.
But isn't that then a case of look what you made me do? So I'm a fake husband because should men take responsibility and just say, look, it doesn't matter, because you see, at the end of the day, you have a choice. You chose this woman, okay? Shouldn't you just say, this is the man I'm going to be. I'm going to be loving, I'm going to be caring, I'm going to be ABC, because that's the man.
Peter, let me say this. You know, initially when you're dating someone, you're all, you know, invested in this love, you love each other, but as time goes by, the love fades. The love fades.
And you agree?
And you come to realize, you come to see certain things that you never noticed from your partner, from your husband, from your wife. And if you don't work together, if you don't work as a unit, that relationship will not work. It is a partnership. Women keep saying that we don't have good men these days, but you're also playing a part in it. For example, we're living in the 21st century. You empowered women, but you have refused to embrace empowerment. You are earning as much as your husband, but when it comes to responsibilities, you're the man. You need to do this. You need to work together. This whole thing that they're not fake. Men are not fake. Like honestly, you're also fake. Women are also fake.
No.
Women are no longer, doing their traditional roles. If you want to go there, we can go there. We can go there in a minute.
Okay. Zero, that's what I'm wondering, 0 to 100. Calm down. Ideal husband. Now, from what I'm picking from what Stefan is saying, as men, we have an excuse. We're able to say, if my wife did A, B, C, D, then I would be a good husband. If my wife was a traditional wife, then I would be a good husband. So until she does that, I have every excuse.
You keep repeating my points. You have noticed.
Yeah. So is that in order?
Well, it may not. But I want to join this conversation by speaking from this young man. For the first time in a long time, the man has spoke like an upcoming young man.
Yeah. The praises I'm getting, it's
Me, I want to begin from where he ended. A good man, a good husband. The number one duty of a husband is sex. The number one duty of a husband is sex. And the number one duty of a husband is to give good sex to the wife. Your wife, the wife you married, someone's daughter you married, Jaru, someone's daughter you married, she could get food, She had a bed, she had the room where she was sleeping, she had sisters and brothers and the mother and the father. They could give her the social company. The only thing they could not give her was sex. So, to be a good husband, reinvent your sex until you reach perfection. Now, how do you know that you are giving her good sex? Let her be the evaluation tool. Let her tell you what she wants. You tell her what you need, what you can deliver, and then she tells you how she would want to receive it. Then you find a mix, the sweetness. You find that sweetness, so that when you touch, she responds. When she touches you, you respond. Of course, I want to agree with the Jaluo. Sometimes love fades. And she will want the sex from you, and you say, well, you give excuses. Well, I am tired. You can't tell her today I don't have serious feelings for you. Because she should also know that sex can be non-penile or vaginal sex. Just cuddling, touching, giving you that courage that, well, if you're tired, today we can sleep. Tomorrow I will make you bushera. You wake up when you have the boost. So number one is sex. Number two, which I think again makes a good man, should be about care, which is about provision. Yes. Although these days I'm really very confused with our wives. They fight about empowerment, they say they are empowered, they fight for rights. When the bills come on the table, they fold their arms. Yes, the man. Yes, they say this is the woman's money. And if Chris was here, he would really be annoyed by sentes abachala, sentes omusajja. Man in the marriage is money for the couple. So the man, yes, should provide leadership in terms of providing for the family, but in fact, part of his leadership should be to persuade his wife to also pitch in, so that they can do the job together, joint effort. So that's why it goes to the thing which my young man here said, communication. How do you communicate? Because you might communicate while throwing stones, that for you, but you're also making money, why don't you pay the bills today? It should be about explaining that I earned 1 million, I have spent it here and here and here. I was thinking that you have also earned 600,000. It can help here and here and here. So ladies out there should also help their husbands to be superb. So for me, those three things but sex, please, men.
Now, we're going to come to, we do need to get into a break. We are here at the Kakira Estate in Ginger, talking about what makes husband material. But we're only looking at the good things. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from the break. In case you've just joined us, we are here at the Kakira Estate talking in Ginger, talking about what husband material is. And by husband material, I don't mean the shirt that Faisal is wearing. It is actually a husband material. But we're talking about the things that women look for in a husband. Now, Saida, I need you to just shed some light on something. Women want care, this care. And you know, money is a very sensitive thing. As a matter of fact, research shows that money is a bigger cause for divorce than even infidelity. Now, both the gentlemen here have talked about the 21st century woman who is earning, okay, but she's empowered. She says, I'm a woman, I'm a strong woman. But when the bills come, she takes a back seat and says, you're the man, okay. Is that part of the care that a woman expects? Does she want a man to pay all the bills and take care of everything?
Fine. What I see with the men one of these days, caring, they have left it for the women.
Care for themselves.
To care for themselves, to care for the families. But if they were to be together and take care together, then there was issues of divorce and the rest wouldn't come in. But you find issues of money, whereby the man does not give the woman something for caring for the family, is what always brings in those problems. So
Is it that he doesn't have the money?
they always have the money. And you can't tell me that a man will not have the money.
Now you see that. You see that
They always
statement.
have the money. The
You
money
see,
is
you hear
there.
that statement is so crude that you cannot. No, she
The
said.
money
her
is
finish.
there.
Let her
No,
finish.
she
Let her
said
finish.
she said
Let her
this
finish. Let her
that you cannot.
Just hold on. Let her
The
finish.
money is there.
No,
But always he doesn't have it.
no. Listen, let me tell you one thing, and I feel like women live in unrealistic world, and they have failed to adapt. Women are the ones who have been championing for the longest time. You want empowerment, you want this, but we're in the 21st century, yeah. And you will find women that you're earning even more than your husband.
And the men are taking advantage
You-
of that.
No, he's not taking advantage.
Yes, you are
see,
taking advantage
and you know, and
of
listen,
women crying
let
for
me tell you-
empowerment.
Let me tell you what. The woman, the guy is paying rent, is doing all these things, is even paying for the garbage. You have your money.
Yes.
You have your money and things are going wrong. And honestly, sometimes, I don't really understand where women's money go. Women need to start embracing empowerment. What you have fought for the longest time. Chip in. If you don't want to chip in, remain a traditional woman and cook.
But do men ask women to chip in?
Do men ask women?
Yeah.
Sometimes sometimes you can see. Sometimes you can see that this guy.
Now, Jalo,
that
just
business
pause
of
there.
assumptions,
And I
Jalo,
think
by
that
the
is
way.
where the departure between a good man and probably a not good man
Communication.
starts.
Communication.
Communicate. When you are broke, I think a good husband, if your sources of money are dry, sit, tell madam, this month I have sweated, I have not earned anything. How much do you have your side that we can use? Communicate. Because it saves you a lot of trouble. Sometimes people think that, for example, $1 million is a lot of money. But you are renting, if you stay in Kampala, you are renting a 2-bedroom house. Average 600,000. You pay water, that is 50. You pay electricity, that is 70. You pay DSTV. You buy mega bonus minutes for both you and what? You buy Pampers. You are
you
buying
talking about me?
food. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about an average. I'm talking about an average young man who is just entering a family. The 1 million has disappeared.
Yeah.
She hasn't gone to the saloon. She hasn't bought a new bra. She hasn't bought shoes. Women like shoes.
Lingerie.
You enter a woman's wardrobe, she has 100 pairs. For you, the husband, you have one. And by the way, she's hammering your head that you only have one pair. She doesn't know why you have one pair of
Let me
shoes.
actually just add on that. I've just remembered something. A good husband should know their wife before you even pick them, because I am tired of this business where you go, you take yourself to someone who you clearly cannot handle. Yeah? You have one pair of shoes, she has 30. I've been in this situation before, I'm telling you. You have one pair of shoes, she has 30. So you go there with this, love, care, sex. But my friend, if you cannot provide, if you cannot fix the standard she's at, you're
But that's
not
a
going to
traditional
handle
man. That is
being
so
a
backward.
good husband.
That is so backward.
It's not so backward, it's the reality.
The
It's
reality
the
is that
reality.
times have changed.
But just wait, he's talking about something which I actually was in a forum and I heard it come up. It's very interesting that you should mention that. And there were a bunch of young people and they were talking about levels. That sometimes, and the girls were very clear about it, they said, sometimes as men you bite off more than you can chew. Yes. Okay. So, there's nothing wrong, and I always say there's nothing wrong with a lady wanting more. Okay. If those are her expectations, those are expectations, yes. But you as a man, the question you ask, because you know her expectations. So my question is, and Said, I need you to give us guidance here. Could the reason be why women are failing to find men who are ideal as husbands, the right husband material? Because they are not putting their cards on the table. When you meet this man, you need to tell him, look, I need a man. Yes, I need to go to Dubai, okay, for shopping. Because the kind of clothes I want, I don't get them in Uganda. I need to live in such and such a place.
My money is my money.
My money is my money. Yeah, you lay all your cards down on the table and then you tell him, are you ready for this? We've been talking about communication. That is communication.
Yeah, that is communication. But with the what I see with that, it doesn't work out one of these days.
Why?
Because as long as a woman brings her card and puts on the table that this is what I earn, the man also will bring when you are just beginning. But when it comes, reaches somewhere, the man will say, okay, you will start having excuses. Now you know what, I'm planning to do this, I'm planning to do this with my money, so he stops now. Everything now remains on you, the money for the woman. You are now the one supposed to pay rent. You know, this month I want to do this. I'm planning. You always plan. They always plan. But the plans they always plan, then the month will end when you have not seen anything. Meanwhile, it is yours now that you are supposed to be using. You find this month, he says this, the next month, it is the same story, and then it keeps on building.
In my opinion, what makes a good husband is that gentleman there who is caring about the family, is providing for the family, and he makes sure that he is always there for his family, children, the wife. It makes them happy.
I think that is a man who is becoming, having issues with honesty. Because the marriage shouldn't be, I am doing this. It should be, I suggest that we do this.
Yeah.
And even that money which I think we should put in enterprise A, I should put it on the table. Then we spend it together. Yeah. And then when the things are not working, the next month we say, but we said we are putting this money in this, we are not seeing output as a family. Let it come out. Now, I think it takes me to something that a good husband should be the one who gives sufficient voice to the wife. That the wife can bring issues on the table and they debate them on their merits. Not because they have come from a woman. You know, some of us, the men, we are still these crude, and I think I've said it on this show, crude, prehistoric men who say, no, the decision is the man's. Which car we're going to drive? Me, I want a premium. The woman wants a wish. No, it is a premium. It is decided. Which house are we going to build? It is a storage house. The woman doesn't want a storage house because her legs are paining. She wants to stay on the ground. Say, no, we shall sleep up. Why are you dictating? So I think it's the good husband should be the one who brings the woman to the table, and then they do the marriage together, because you can't do it alone. You can't. Even Jesus, by the way, if Chris was here, he would agree with me. When Jesus was almost fearing to be crucified, he went and prayed and said, please God, can you give me the courage, Father, give me the courage to go ahead with this task. Because Jesus was seeing being crucified as very heavy for him. He asked God, his Father, to support him, to give him the courage. And that's why he went there and died. And now people say Jesus died for us. So this marriage thing is too heavy to carry alone.
And say this, for the longest time, a good man has been determined by women. And the reason why we are having problems right now, and women are saying that we don't have good men, is because women have failed to adapt to the changing times. Times have changed, and you're still emphasizing on the same traditional, as in women are still in that traditional thinking. A man has to provide. If you want a man to provide, honestly, and I think I've said it before, if you want a man to provide, and you want a man to still remain with the traditional roles, you also remain in your traditional roles. Times have changed. Try and catch up with a man. If he's not doing something somewhere, put in, or else you're gonna have problems. Men are suffering silently. We are providing. We are still doing the same traditional things. women have gone to school and they don't want to use their dog.
But Jalo, why is it hurting you so much that women
The
provide?
women, you know,
That
women-
men provide.
Women, that traditional thinking is gone. Remove it from your head,
So you want
Faisal.
to stay at home and do nothing?
No, I find providing. If you listen,
I'm listening.
Now, we are going to go into a break and then we're going to get back to you. Now, we are here at the Kakira Estate in Ginger talking about what an ideal husband is. Is the man you're looking for husband material? Some of these things, you have to look out for them before you make him your husband. Otherwise, you'll end up coming crying to us and we won't be there to help you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from the break. In case you've just joined us, we are here at Kakira Estate in Ginger talking about what husband material is. Now, as I always say, on Men, we talk about the things that nobody wants to talk about, but they're happening. So, we are at the Nile, actually Lake Victoria, enjoying a very candid conversation. Now, I have a question, because I know you're burning and ready to come back. First of all, is there anything like an ideal man? Is there a man who ticks all the boxes?
let me say this. Men have been slaving for women for the longest time. We paid bills, we have gone for wars, we have died it. And you know, women keep insisting that the men have changed. They are not good men anymore. The reason why they are not good anymore, men are not good anymore, is because you have failed as women to embrace the changes. Women, I took you to school. Your dad took you to school, educated you to a certain level. But when when you get married, you cannot provide. Where does your money go? What are you doing with your money?
Where does your money go?
My money
Yeah, as women, they're speaking
as a woman.
all the women here.
My
yes.
money as a woman. My money goes for feeding the children.
The man is buying food in.
No. If he's not buying, then I have to buy the food. Because that's what I'm just saying. Men these days, they have left off everything for us women. Me, I'm talking out of experience. You have to buy food. You pay the fine. I don't pay bills, but you have to educate the children. You do everything. But the man's money, you don't see it. For me, it is the opposite. It is the men that we don't see their money. Because it is the money for the women that is doing almost everything.
What is everything? I want to come to the nitty details.
Feeding the children,
Feeding the children.
shelter, education, medical. It is all on women.
Then run.
You see, Jaru.
Run.
You see, Jaru.
For example, let me just give you an example. Go to the schools. Just pop in one of these days, like when children are reporting back to school. Check the percentage of parents who are bringing back children to school.
It's the women.
It is the women.
But the daddies have opened the wallets.
No,
probably.
just a few.
I don't know where you're getting that statistic, but I think it's very wrong.
She has a point. She has a point.
Because when you go to school, even during the visitation,
Yes.
they are more mothers than daddies.
Yes.
Now, it could mean several things. One, that the daddies are just absent; they are not into that, and they have even withdrawn the wallets. It could also mean that the dads opened the wallet and are behind doing something. But actually, her argument holds water. It has become increasingly common for men to avoid the responsibility of marriage, of looking after the family to the women.
Yeah, and use
But-
the excuse of making money.
Yes, but I want to add something that whereas I have been urging that a husband should be good, there is no complete good husband. So it also takes the wife some energy, some time, some effort to either shape the husband or to fit into the husband or together to work and complement each other. Because we all have weaknesses, okay? We all have weaknesses. So when the woman comes in, then I will become a perfect husband. And you see, we have argued on this show that why do single girls find married men attractive? It is because the wife has put in effort to shape the man. This girl is just finding a finished product and she wants to steal it away. So this woman will bring acid and work on her because they are stealing from her. Now, we have always been talking about that a man, a good husband, should be loving. But what does it take you to be loving? You know, one thing I have learned out of experience is that women require attention. Attention is time. Time. Spelled T-I-M-E. Time. You see, you can leave a checkbook at home with an account which has endless money in it, and you are not giving her time. You still be a horrible husband because you are not there. You didn't marry this woman to come and abandon in the house.
But I think that's what Jalo was saying, that people need to adjust.
Yeah.
People need to, because you cannot also always be around all the time. Some of us have, engineers, telecom engineers. I literally have a friend of mine. He's married, but he's at home. In 3 months, he's at home like 3 days.
But cool.
Because, yes, he does call, but what I'm trying to say is women as well need to adapt, just like what Jalu was saying, because things are changing. Not all the time your guy is going to be there. Yeah, not all the time you're going to get the perfect husband who knows the perfect sex and the perfect. Some people have values. A man like Chris, there are some positions you're not going to tell him to do because he has values.
Yeah,
so you adapt.
A good husband should be a friend. Friendship, that's one quality. He has to be friendly to you, because by the time you decide to get married to him, you guys should be friends. When you are friends, things will work out smoothly. So that's one quality. 2, he should be forgiving. When you make a mistake, he should be forgiving. No matter the type of mistake. Yes, there are mistakes that are really hard for people to take in, but he should be forgiving, whereby it comes in by listening. He has to give you time, listen to you, what you're gonna say about what you did last time or yesterday or the other day, whatever time you did it. When he's listening, then he'll be forgiving and he'll take you in. Once again,
a good husband goes beyond providing anybody anything at home. So it is beyond providing food, providing medical care, providing many other activities within the family. A good husband is that who knows about the family, his or his family. So once you know your family, you know the number of children you have, you know the character and the lifestyle of your family, you definitely become a good husband. Otherwise, you cease being a good husband. It's not all about sex. Yes, it's part of it, but it's beyond sex to be a good husband.
We've talked about communication. I mean, you should know your person. I remember over the break we were saying that the challenge that men have is your woman tells you, let's do this, and then you start wondering, where did she learn this from? Okay, who's teaching her? So it becomes, you should be open-minded, and you should be in a position, rather you should be approachable. You just talked about it. As men, are we approachable? Or are you that lion in the house where your woman is thinking something she can't tell you because she doesn't know how you're going to react?
But no, let's not put the ball on the men's side only, like what Jalo was saying. Yeah, these women literally mold their husband. Yeah? If you listen to, if you read Michelle Obama's book, The Becoming, you will see what she did. You will figure out that, wow, so Obama wasn't just born the great way he is. Yeah,
she
had a lot of contribution in his life to be what he is right now.
She was his boss.
She's a basically. If you listen to that story as well with Winnie Gianima, you will see why he is the way he is. And Bobby Chagulan and Bobby Wine, same thing. So it's not, don't put the ball in the men's court.
But
like,
you see, Faisal,
but you also be like, you know what, men, you should be good husbands.
You are also forgetting that these men were good husbands because they allowed their wives to add on to them. There are some of us men who are big-headed. The woman brings suggestions, and you are like, a woman telling me to change. Shut up.
But you know, the way they bring it, the way you bring it, you know, I'm from work, I'm from toiling the whole day, I'm tired. My home should be the safe haven. I should come home in a safe place. I've been toiling the whole day. I come home and the first thing you're talking about eggs, or I don't know what, cheap small thing. There's a way you can, women. Let me talk to the women. Listen, learn to talk to your men. And this also boils down to your mothers. You need to teach your girls how to communicate. You know, you keep poking the guy, and you know, when something happens, they will always, you know, society will never look at the woman. If you hit your woman today, they'll say that this is a stupid man. Why did you do this? But there's emotional stress. And it's very big. Emotional stress. You poke this guy, and then when he snaps, it's the guy's fault. Learn to communicate. And then, communication. But this argument will never end because of we were raised in a patriarchal, in a manly world. As a man, you were raised to provide. As a woman has been raised to be to receive. Even if a woman has reached that, she always thinks like, you know, I need to. That needs to change. When you're raising girls, they cannot raise them in such a way that they can fend for themselves. So when they're in that setting, you know, you can chip in.
I agree 100%. I mean, because at the end of the day, I don't agree that you should be aggressive and all that, but communication. But now, guys, we've reached that point when we do have to wrap up the show. So, and I'm going to start with, because you're already energized. I need... All right, we'll start with Faisal. 3 things, okay, that you believe are key attributes for good husband material for the ladies out there.
The number one thing is you need to be willing to change, because I've never been in a relationship that literally did not change me. There's just something about women that will make you change. So if you enter something with this whole, you know what, me, I'm perfect, I don't care, that whole, you know, you don't care attitude, you're going to fail. It's going to fail. You're not going to be the way you are, because women love, you know, making sure their life is organized. She keeps moving her pieces around. She wants to know, hey, my husband, he's dressed, he has done this, he has done this, he has earned, but I want his shirt to look a specific certain type of way.
Okay.
Yeah?
The other 2?
There's communication as well. Very important. Well, I feel like communication and providing is almost the same. Yeah. And then there's the whole sex bit. But what I'm going to emphasize is being a good husband is mostly about the woman. Yeah. Because I only reflect most men I hang around with, my workmates, my friends, their values, the way they see life is normally perceived with how the wife is treating them at home. Yeah. If it's terrible, if it's miserable, he's always bitter. He comes to the bar, he's bitter, he's drinking, he hates everyone. Yeah. So women also need to sit back and be like, you know what?
Okay, all right. Okay. Your 3 things.
No.
Yes.
1, a good husband should be a perpetual student. And because I'm a teacher, I emphasize. A good husband should be a perpetual student. Learn and learn, relearn and learn. You unlearn the bad things. You learn good and new things. You relearn things that you are not doing well but need perfection. So you become a perpetual student. You keep reinventing yourself for your wife. That's 1. 2, a good husband should be loving. And a loving husband has a very long arm of love. The wife, the children, her family. A husband who extends love to the wife's family gets favor in the wife's arms. Because when she goes back home, they give her respect, that your husband is the best. And number 3 is that A good husband is the one who knows that there is no such a thing as a one man's show. You know, there are some people who are like a highway. You know, the Ginger Express, cars on the left only go to Ginger, cars on the right only come to Kampala. If you get a problem and you want to turn back, you'll have to look for the interchange, which is 15 kilometers away. No, a man is not a highway one-way thing. Sometimes you can make a U-turn, sometimes you can make a circle. So once you do that, then life becomes very good. And sometimes it is good for you, a man, to know that I think today I made a mistake. A man, good husband, must learn to say sorry where they know that they have made a mistake.
Yeah. Great stuff. Saida, 3 things you want to see in a good husband.
Number 1, as I said the other time, care. A good husband should be caring. In care, I mean caring for the family, for the children, just as he has said, for the children, for the wife, and also the family of the wife. Not only the wife, but also his family. Because if you say caring for only the wife's family, that one always brings confusions. So he should also care for his family. You have to balance. Because if you tell him only to care for your side, there is always a problem there. Then second, a good husband should be loving. He should have love for his wife, for the children, and also for the family members. Because now if there is no love, then that one can't make a good husband. Number 3, a good husband should be somebody who communicates well with the wife. And that one is the most important, communication. When there is lack of communication between the man and the woman, then...
I think I'm going to re-emphasize what everyone has just said, but I'll quote a Bible verse. I don't know which verse it is. You know, whoever finds a good wife finds a good thing.
Find a wife, not just he who finds a wife.
He who finds a wife finds a good thing. It's a process. You know, men forget that you marry someone and you forget. You think it's the end of the day. You know, it's the end of the road. You forget dating them. You know, it's you leave the responsibility. You leave out to all the responsibilities. You need to date her. It's a work in progress. You know, there's an analogy I use all the time. If you drop that Mercedes-Benz, someone else will pick it up and drive it better than you. There are certain things you don't want to do. Someone else is willing to do it. And you know, most of these women spend 70 or 80% of their time at the workplace. Someone will say something to her that you're not saying, and one thing will lead to another, and you know, you'll be raising someone's kid. So it's a work in progress. You need to date. It's continuous progress. You know, she gave birth, she has baby weight. Don't look down on her. Go to the gym with her, encourage her. You know, men, sometimes, you know, men act so crude. And then secondly, I'm going to emphasize what she says, you need to be loving. I don't know how to explain this, but you need to love your woman. This is someone you're committed to spend the rest of your life with.
Yes.
Take her out, come on, you know. Say some things, you know, call her in between the day and tell her that you love her.
Surprise her.
Surprise her. Don't have sex and just stand and sleep. Cuddle with her, you know. Some of the small things. A Faisal. Yeah, there's some women who don't want, but if your woman wants to be cuddled, cuddle her. If you want loves to be, loves gifts, do it. And then lastly, a good man, if you want a good husband, as a woman, you also have to play your part. Sometimes you talk too much. A guy needs that. If you want a man, listen.
It is you
sometimes communication. You know, sometimes communication is very important. You know that men just, and most of the suicide rates are always on the guy's side. You know, men are, out of a sudden they just erupt and he does something stupid. Learn to communicate. find him in a good space and tell him this. The guy has come from work, he's tired, he's been toiling the whole day.
Then he kills himself. That's his problem.
Coolly, let it shut up, you know, simple as that.
Cool. It has been a tough one. Okay. But mine is very simple. Ladies, first and foremost, have a God-fearing man. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever it is. Somebody who fears a higher power than them is vulnerable to some extent, and they have to listen. Number two, it's very simple. Get a man who believes in working hard. It doesn't matter what he's doing. I have always said it. And men have to do that. You have to go out there and do something. Even if you're making 500 shillings, it's yours, you've made it. And number three, last but not least, it's been said over here, get a man who communicates. If things are bad, he tells you they're bad. Also, when things are good, he doesn't secretly keep his money and go and enjoy it and then come back and say, hey, every time I meet Jalo, he buys me drinks. And he's the one who's buying the drinks. With those few words, we want to say have a good night. God bless. It's from all of us here at the Kakira Estate. We've had a great time. Hope you have too. As I always say, this is your show. Let's have these discussions going on social media, not only now during the show, but even after. God bless. We love you. Take care of yourselves.